My name is Kent Kateski, and I'm a pastor at Hope Missionary Church in Bluffton, Indiana. And like a whole lot of Christian parents, I believe in the value of Christian higher education. So 3 years ago, when our son enrolled at Cedarville, we were delighted, and we were excited to see how God was providing in different ways for Jeff to be a student there. And then Jeff's younger sister, Katie, decided that God was calling her to Cedarville as well. My wife, Amy, and I were super excited about that as well. But like most Christian parents, I also am not made out of money. And so we began to worry a little bit, and we began to pray. And like a lot of Christians who love Jesus and who know that God provides, we knew that in our hearts, but our heads were starting to have some problems with that, especially when we started to realize what it was going to cost to send 2 kids to a private Christian college. And we were encouraging Katie all along, God called you there, so God will provide for you to be there. And I kept telling Katie over and over, when God guides, He provides. And I kept trying to remind myself of the same thing. It's a whole lot easier for me to tell somebody else that than it is for me to believe that in my own heart when I got to come up with a bunch of money. And so there were some sleepless nights, wondering and tossing and turning and praying, asking God to provide. And slowly we began to see that prayer be answered. Katie started to receive some scholarship offers that we didn't even see coming. My wife began to explore a different position with a different company, and then suddenly her supervisor found out about it and called her into her office, and I was sweating bullets. And Amy called later that day to say that she had received a bonus, a 15% bonus that we didn't see coming, and it was another way that God was providing, but there was still this little gap in the money. And we didn't know how God was going to make it happen, but we kept trusting and praying, kept asking our friends to pray with us about that. So then we came to All Access Weekend when Katie came to the campus of Cedarville to meet her roommate and to begin to get enrolled in classes. And while she was away touring the dorms with her new roommate-to-be for the fall, my son began to walk me off campus to an apartment where he'll be living next year. And it was a nice place, and I didn't think much about it until we were walking back across campus to meet up with Katie. And he said, "Dad, the coolest thing is it's gonna save me about $3,000 to live there with my friends." And it stopped me dead in my tracks, because that was the exact amount of money that was missing in order to make it possible for Katie to come to Cedarville in the fall. I shared that with Jeff that day, I shared it with Katie that day, got home and shared it with Amy, and we were just delighted to see, once again, confirmation that once God guides, He provides. Just want to encourage other parents who may be suffering those same sleepless nights and those questioning prayers. When God guides, He provides.